And ultimately, one of the teams got beat. Let's take a look at the highlights. And it is something else. Now both the Moondogs back in. Steve Kern down on the concrete, and now stands covered. Count of one, count of two, and he barely gets that left shoulder up. Boy, I will tell you, everybody a bloody mess. Steve Kern being pounded by the smaller of the two Moondogs. He falls to the floor. The big one in the ring was Stan Lane. What a battle. Crazy time, but let me tell you, they're battling to stay here. Dumped in the middle of the ring. Hart saying, get him, and he is missed. What a mess. Both the Fabs, both the Moondogs, covered with blood, all four of them. Table into the ring. Well, it was busted once last week, I believe. It's going to be demolished tonight. And the war goes on. The smaller of the two Moondogs on that table, and gets it in return. Meanwhile, Steve Kern has the big Moondog on him. Count of one on Stan Lane, count of two, foot on the rope, breaks the count. Mess. Oh! Stan Lane slammed into the desk. Steve Kern ripped along the ringside. Oh, Lane on a side suplex. But the referee's not looking, so they can't get a pin on him. Hart draws his attention. Count of one, count of two. Whoa! And Stan Lane almost counted out. Steve, I think his shoulder is under the ring rope. I don't see how they can get a pin there. Referee stops at two as he wraps his feet around the ropes. Fights that we have ever seen. Both teams battling to stay in this territory. Stanley with a cover. Got a 2 count. Well, there goes the bell again. chair, 2 chairs, mic stand, table, ring standard. Ball in the ring. Well, there goes 1 chair out, 2 chairs. Brawl. Steve Kern using the bell. Steve racked up so bad he couldn't get up at the moment. And let me tell you, that bell doesn't weigh a pound or 2. Here starts some of it coming back out. That took care of the table. Both went over the top rope. Hard at ringside. Hart trying to put the other Moondog over Steve Kern, and now draws the referee's attention to it. This may be it. No! Steve kicks out. Burst of it saved his team. We're 13 minutes into the action. Everybody's going to require a blood transfusion when this is over. Jimmy Hart jumps up, throwing powder at Steve Kern's head. He ducks it, hits the Moondog. Kern puts a pile driver on. Steve has got a cover. Steve was warned by Stan. 1, 2, 3, that's it. Yowza, and by golly, I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to this championship wrestling, I guess, about as much as any of us.
Chance with this guy at all, man. Burt Reynolds would go and hide when this man comes in the room. And I promise you this, girls, when you see this man, and I'm fixing to bring him out very shortly, when you see this man, you're going to forget about the fabulous ones forever. And I'm going to bring him out right now. Ladies and gentlemen, and I use the word ladies and gentlemen very, very loosely, Mr. Rick Rude, the next sex symbol of professional wrestling. Look at him. Look at him. That's right. Woo! Eat your heart out. Angel. His angel right there. His valet.
Well,
Rick, this is Lance Russell.
Welcome to Championship Wrestling.
Lance Russell.
That's right.
You step back a little bit. You're breathing my air.
Okay, Rick. I can see we've got another member of the family that we're going to love around here, Jim.
Don't be bashful. You know, just tell him, baby, anything you want to talk to the people about or anything, tell them how good-looking you really are, and they can see how good-looking you are, baby. Look at this man. Is he not a sex symbol? Listen at that.
Just take a look.
Take a look. That's right. Take a look, baby. Go ahead, baby.
I just can't believe, you know, I've seen pictures of these fabulous ones, but I don't understand what's so fabulous about them.
Well, they've got quite a reputation, and they've lived up to it, too, in the ring.
I could floss my teeth with those boys. I can't believe it.
That's right, floss my teeth with her. And look at Angel. Isn't she beautiful?
She's a lovely young lady, yes.
You know, Rick, why don't we go and show him, now that everybody knows how good-looking you really are right now and how beautiful Angel, why don't we show him what you can do in the ring with this Jerry Gray kid right now?
Marvelous idea, I think,
baby. Come on, Angel.
Rick Rude, our first look at the new family member. As a matter of fact, okay, Jimmy, you've already done your sell job on him. Let's see what he can do up there in the ring. Oh, boy, Dave.
Well,
this is even more spectacular than just the 2 title matches that we got coming.
Yeah,
We've got Rick Rude here today.
Oh, we do indeed. And a 1-fall, 10-minute time limit match coming up here.
Around the area is King Konga. Not the prettiest face I ever saw, but he is a big, tough son of a gun out of the streets of New York. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of a bout that he had with Stagger Lee.
King Konga, we've seen him in action. We saw him wrestle against Terry Taylor. You all know Terry, a former Southern heavyweight champion. Taylor didn't get it started. This Konga out of the streets of New York. Absolutely all over him. Konga's going to be a tough foe to reckon with. We can guarantee you that. After seeing him in action, was never so shocked when we saw the match with Terry Taylor. Puts Stagger Lee down to the canvas again. King Konga yelling at the crowd. Stagger Lee backs him up. Referee Jerry Conner there, and Stagger Lee with the right hand. Stagger Lee, hey, he is not being effective. This is a vicious-looking son of a gun. Caught him with a shot, put Stagger down to the canvas. Drops him over the top rope. Konga coming after him. Picks him up by the mask. High up in the air. Holding him up. Continues to hold him a good 10, 15 seconds, I would imagine. Drops the leg, and he's on top of Stagger Lee. Count of 3.
That's pretty impressive when you talk about beating Terry Taylor and Stagger Lee on successive weeks. King
Indeed.
Konga. And boy, let me tell you, he is a big one, and I certainly would rather be sitting where we are, Dave, than be in Robert Reed's shoes when he has to climb of New York City. King Konga, the winner in 129, as Robert's being helped out by the referee. Well, one of Jimmy Hart's favorite guys coming up right now. James J. Dillon. Dillon had some words that we wanted to be sure to let you hear them.
Jerry the King Lawler. You know, each week I've been taking time from my busy schedule to watch by special satellite hookup from my penthouse just to see what kind of effect my presence has had on you. And I know that you're trying to ignore me. I saw Jimmy Hart make a play, a desperate play, to try and join forces with you to nip it in the bud, I think he said. And you put him down, so I think Mr. Jimmy Hart is already starting to understand where he stands in this situation. Now, I know, Jerry Lawler, that at this point, for whatever your motives, you're trying to ignore me. I mean, you got your own television show in Memphis. You're a big star in Louisville, in Evansville, in Lexington, in Nashville, New York, and Tokyo. Just like I am. And that's the important bottom line. So if you want to play a waiting game with me, Mr. Lawler, I'll play your game for the time being, because I feel that I hold all of the aces. See, when you talk about a waiting game, the Zambui Express, Mr. Elijah Akeem, Mr. Kareem Muhammad, a combined weight of over 650 pounds. And see, Mr. Lawler, when you talk about waiting, You're talking about 200 years of misery. 200 years of chains that have bound the Zambui Express. And after 200 years, they're tired. They are going to break the chains. They're not waiting for somebody to come along and unlock the key. And when you're as big as the Zambui Express, you can do as you please. And when you have James J. Dillon behind you, well, I'm not going to expound on that. But King Konga, King Konga from the streets of New York, fought for everything he's ever had, and now he's fighting not for his life, not for a place to sleep, not for a meal to eat, but he's fighting for the almighty dollar and James J. Dillon. And when you wave money in front of people's faces, you get things done. Lawler, when we fish in the state of Florida, we chum up the water. Chum up the water. We take the small fish and cut them into little pieces. And that's just what King Konga is doing now. We're waiting for the big daddy to come along. I'm talking about you, Lawler, because that's all I want. I don't want the small fish in the pond. I want you. And when you come after the chum, I'm waiting with the big hook, and I'm going to get you.
James J. Dillon expounding and expounding. And he is, one thing I'll say for him, he does deliver some monsters.
Well, he does.
Boy. We got time to take out right now. Then we're coming back with a Southern Tag Team Championship match in just a moment.
The Zambui Express, and as Lance said, we hope to get a look at him right here. Right now, promoter Eddie Marlin with the King. Lance, you have word on?
The fabulous ones have not arrived, is my understanding, right?
And Lance, I know they wrestled up in Kentucky last night, and there's some bad roads up there, bad weather. So I talked to Jerry Lawler, and he agreed to go on with his match now to give the fabulous ones a little more time to be here. We're still hoping for them to be.
Okay, it's a little early, Jerry, but thank you for agreeing to the switch on it. So, don't give it up. We are going to have the Southern Heavyweight title match before the Southern Tag title match, which is no bad bill of fare. And boy, I am really interested in this bout coming up, Dave, because the challenger for the title is going to be Jimmy Hart's Sabu the Wild Man. Now, let's turn the time back. This guy upset Lawler and won that Southern Crown.
He did indeed.
He's coming up again today. All right, Davey.
Former title holder introducing at 234 pounds from the Fiji Islands with his manager Jimmy Hart, Sabu the Wild Man. And the champion, 234 pounds out of Memphis, Tennessee, the King, Jerry Lawler. This title match, one fall, 30 minutes, the special time limit, 30-minute time limit, and the Southern Heavyweight Championship belt is on the line.
Jimmy Hart is up there making some big speech to Lawler. I don't know what in the world he's saying, but he was making a big speech to the King just before. Some of that hype is probably what it is, the way he tries to psych you out. What was all the
No hype. I'm not trying to psych anybody out. What I'm trying to tell Lawler right now, this match does not have to take place, baby, and you can walk out of here and be the Southern Heavyweight Champion. Lawler, Dillon's on his way. What do I have to do? Do I have to paint you a picture? Why does he have to be so hard-headed? I know you're a great wrestler. This match does not have to take place, man. We can be together. I'm telling you. We can nip this whole thing in the bud with Dillon.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, we can do it.
The Southern Heavyweight crown is on the line right now. Sabu out against the King, Jerry Lawler. And the King taking a look over his shoulder with good reason, too, because when Hart's at ringside, referee trying to get him down in a chair where he belongs. Ooh-wee.
It's the belt that Jerry Lawler has held for such a long time, but the belt that Sabu the Wild Man came in here and took away from Lawler.
Yeah, really. Look at that. Dumped him across that ring. Dave, I think it was interesting. I talked to Jerry about this before before we started today on Championship Wrestling, and he wanted this match on television because a lot of people remember that upset when Sabu beat him, and he wanted to go again just to prove that he, in fact, could beat this guy. And so here it is, right on Championship Wrestling. They tie it up, and Jerry Lawler backed up into the corner by the Wild Man. He has one of the most vicious chops, I think, of anybody that we have seen, including a lot of the Oriental wrestlers. Sabu can really tan you. You hear Hart?
Yeah, I hear Hart still talking over there, yeah.
He's still making the big pitch to Lawler right while the match is going on. Right at the moment, Sabu seems to have the better of it.
Jimmy Hart heard part of that conversation. He's lobbying Lawler. He's saying, hey, together, we can be a great team.
Yeah, he keeps reminding Lawler that Dillon is on the way to get him, Lawler. And that, of course, what Jimmy's thought is, he's worried about Dillon coming in and taking over his family or something like that. Lawler and Sabu tie it up. Back on the rope. Referee sitting there saying clean break. Jerry says, you want some? Bam! Nailed him with that right.
Couldn't resist that one, I guess.
Yeah, Jerry's a hip guy. He's been around. He's very, very smart in the ring, and he knows Hart's family members. He knows what kind of tricks they'll pull. Lawler finally pleading with the referee, get him down in a chair and make him shut up. He can put him in the chair. I don't think he can shut him up. Lawler could shut him up.
That's
He's
right.
got his hands full right now.
He has to concentrate on Sabu, and that's exactly why he wanted Hart in the chair.
Whoa!
Stepped on a few toes there, looked like.
Yep. Rearranged a molder or two with that good right hand. Sabu had his feet stomped upon and then ate a big right hand from the King.
We're about 3.5 minutes into the action. 3.5 minutes gone. 30 minutes is the overall time limit for the championship match. Sabu climbing through the ropes. No conference with manager Jimmy Hart. Right in the middle of the ring. Sabu forcing Lawler back into the turnbuckle. It's a chop. Wow.
And he can do that. Chop. Digs at him with the point of the finger.
Shut up over there, man.
Lawler down on the deck. Sabu making a run at him right now. Jimmy's eating this up. He's saying, well, Lawler would be hard-headed. He's just eating this up one. Whoa! And Lawler just got it out at the 2 count. Hart giving him a hard way about counting too slow. Another vicious chop from Sabu. He has turned the bout up a notch or two, my friend. Sabu slamming the head of the King on that top turnbuckle.
Wow. Been all Sabu the last couple of minutes here. He has seized the tempo of the match. It's been going his way. Cover. 1, 2. At the 2 count. Lawler able to kick out.
Hart telling Calhoun that he messed up his leg drop. He came back with another one, and he's got another cover. And Lawler kicks it loose at the count of 2. He missed that one. The thing is always in the back of your mind, Sabu beat him once before.
He sure did.
But the King got strapped down, and he's starting to work. He's bouncing Sabu's head off that top turnbuckle. Lands him down on the mat. Jerry Lawler changing the tide of the momentum.
Lawler with the right hand.
Lawler missing a big elbow.
Sabu moved out of the way.
Yeah, I think he figured Sabu was more damage than he was. Look at, what is that? Hart reached out and grabbed the leg of Sabu. Lawler drops an elbow. 1, 2, 3. And the King wins it. I've got to tell you, with the aid, you saw what I saw today.
I'm stunned. Hart tripped Sabu. Sabu over by the ropes. He was going to use the ropes to spring. And Hart tripped him.
Sabu's in there saying, what in the world happened? Jimmy Hart may be in a heap of trouble. Is Sabu heading out?
Hart left immediately after that.
I don't blame him.
He got out of here, and Sabu looked like he was going looking for him.
That guy got up his sleeve. I'm telling you, just like you called it. He reached out when Lawler whipped him in, hooked that leg, dumped him on his face. Lawler caught him with an elbow when he was down and got the cover on him. So Jerry Lawler retains his Southern heavyweight title against Sabu. And that time, once again, Dave?
Time on it was 6 minutes, 36 seconds.
6 minutes, 36 seconds. Never can tell about Jimmy Hart. That's for living proof right there. We're going to take time out. Be back in just a moment. I was sitting here looking. We have been waiting on the fabulous ones. What is it, Jimmy?
I'm going to say something right now. You know, I just want to say this one more time. Lawler, $10,000 bonus money if you sign with the family right now. I promise you we can get rid of Dillon. We can get rid of everybody right now, once and for all. You saw what I did to Sabu a while ago.
Yeah, I did.
I won the match for you, Jerry Lawler, and the people saw me win the match for you right now. My heart is in the right place. And don't ever say I'm nervous about anything, because I'm not. But $10,000 if you sign with me. Think it over, King. That's all I wanted to say, Russell.
Thank you, Jimmy, for keeping it briefer than I have heard you be in the last 5 years. We've got, I think, an interesting thing you'll want to see on the Universal Heartthrob, Austin Idol. Heartthrob, Austin Idol, and he is some kind of doer indeed with that Las Vegas leg lock. We've got a big match coming up in just a moment. We're going to have well, I don't know whether I don't think the Fabulous Ones are here, but Mr. Elijah Akeem and Mr. Kareem Mohammed.
Give us a microphone. Get in the back.
Listen, you stand in the back.
Get in the back.
And people like me and Mr. Mohammed gonna stand in the front where we belong. Now, I'll ask you a question. The rules are, we know the rules, we're not ignorant. The rules are that if a championship match is signed, if they don't show up, they lose by default and we become champions. Am I right or wrong?
Well, boy.
Hey, don't hear that word out you. Just be quiet. I'm talking. Just shut up.
Shut up out there when we talk.
And now, all I want you to do is this. Either you get the Fabulous Ones in the center of the ring, or you go get the belts and make us the champion.
We're giving them a little time.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We know they cowards. They're yellow. They didn't want to show up down here because they knew they had to face us.
Here's promoter Eddie Marlin. Eddie.
Lance, these gentlemen said they know the rules. The Fabulous Ones was in my office Wednesday, signed a contract on this match. The Fabulous Ones knows the rules. Now, I know the roads are probably bad up in Kentucky. They would have been here. They faced everything they've been signed against.
Betcha.
So right now, the only thing I can do is say that we have to follow the rules. The Fabulous Ones will have to forfeit the belts.
Ooh.
Ambush.
Let me repeat that again. Eddie Marlin is saying that because of the rules on it, the Fabulous Ones have not shown up for the title defense, that the belts are forfeited, and the new Southern Tag Champions are the Zambui Express. Is that correct?
That's right. When you make a rule, you have to abide by it, whether you like it or not. So
Listen, we don't want to hear that double talk out of you. Just take a walk. And what I want to say is this. We did not come all the way down here and get dressed not to wrestle anybody. You go in the back.
That's right.
And find somebody. I don't care. Gerald, it don't make a to me and Mr. Mohammed. But you go back there and you go find somebody to get in that ring with Mr. Mohammed and Mr. Elijah, because we didn't come all this way to watch you and these geeks out here make all this noise. We came to wrestle and to beat up on somebody, because we do it and we do it well.
We've already been told that you got the belts. You're the Southern Tag Champs. I would think that would make you happy enough. You are the new
You
AW.
act like you don't like that.
Hey, well,
You
no.
act like you don't like it.
I don't like to see anything won on a forfeit in there.
That's right. We want
If
them
they'd
in the
have
ring.
been here, they'd have given you...
Listen, we don't want to hear that double talk out of you. You got that? Like I told you, when I came out here, me and Mr. Mohammed and my kind have listened to your double talk long enough. It's time for action. So get it in the middle of the ring.
Okay, well, we would heartily agree with the fact that after the fight that he just had with Sabu, which turned out to be a handful and rather peculiar situation on the end of that one, but he's...
It's old news now, Lance.
Yeah, that's old news.
What's fixing to happen? Let's talk about those World Tag Team titles, okay?
Well, before you do any talking, Jerry, let me let you take a listen to what Big Ken Patera and Crusher Blackwell had to say about this. Okay, here we are.
And let me start this, because I have something to say to the international heartthrob, Austin Idol. Well, when we get through with you, nothing's going to be throbbing, boy, except your watermelon head. Just remember, back in September, you got lucky and injured my left knee. And I told you, when I had the opportunity to pay you back, I was going to pay you back dearly. But you didn't have the guts to get in the ring with me alone. So you went out and got the king, Jerry Lawler. Double our pleasure, Jerry. Double our pleasure. We're not only going to break some legs or arms or necks, we're going to break your spines. Because just remember, what happened to the Rock and Roll Express? They were the only two that had the guts to get in the ring with us. And it made you two look like fools. So now you have made a foolish mistake by accepting our challenge.
You know, we put the World Tag Team titles on the line. The World Heavyweight Champions. The greatest team in the world today. And we're going against some heartthrob and somebody that calls himself the King. Well, the only king I know of from Memphis, they have tours at his mansion now. And I'm not talking about Jerry Lawler. And let me tell y'all boys one thing. We put the challenge out to y'all just because this man right here wanted to get Austin Idol in the ring. And boy, we're going to snap your leg. And Mr. Lawler, we're going to crush your crown. And when we get through doing that, we're liable to break your back or something else.
Just remember, we're going to crush his crown while his head's still in it.
Couple of enjoyable young men.
Wait a minute. This is January, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Why are those guys dressed for trick-or-treating is what I want to know. As far as I can understand.
Oh, Jimmy, will you leave things well enough alone?
Stay right there. Stay there. Hold it.
Jimmy Hart, one more time.
Wait a minute. King, I know you're not blind. You heard Dylan's interview a while ago. Am I right or wrong? Did you not hear his interview? And I'm telling you, baby Conga, the Sabu, they're on their way, man. They are here now. Now. You're talking about the future a while ago, baby. Let's talk about what's fixing to happen, man. I've come out here week after week. Now listen to me. I know that if you look at this, now, did I not prove to you a while ago, my heart's in the right place. Look at this. You had a Southern title match right there against Sabu. Did I not help you win that match?
Is that what that was all about?
Look at the match with Austin Idol a couple of weeks ago. Look at that match. Did I not help you win that match to get your title shot? Jimmy Hart did that. My heart is in the right place. This is a magazine that Killer Carl Croup picked up from me on the stand. A new issue, not a local. I want you to get a close-up now because I want you to see this. What does it say? One-on-one right there. Who is it? Jimmy Hart and Jerry the King Lawler. We are wrestling news, baby. This is the big one right here. Why don't you wake up? I have got a check. $10,000 blank check right here. Shoot in on it. Shoot in. Right here it is. Right here. Come on. Can you get a wake the guy up? Here's a check right here, baby. It's blank. I will fill it. Give me your pen, Russell. Give me your pen. Give me your pen right now. I'll give you $10,000 bonus money for signing with the family now, baby. You've got a championship match coming up. You and Austin Idol, okay? Against Ken Patera and Crusher Blackwell. Who knows Ken Patera and Crusher better than Jimmy Hart? Because I've managed both of them, and they will stop at nothing to win it. I'm telling you, Lawler, with me in your corner, I promise you, sign with me. Just listen to me and sign. I'll fill this out. I'll keep it. You think it over. That's all you got to do right now. You right now. I'll put your name right here. Right here.
Come on, Jimmy, why don't you give it up? You've been out here, you've been bothering the man, you know how he feels about
I'll leave.
you.
There it is. The magazine, you saw it, baby. You see is believing. Not talking about the Fabs or anybody else, but Lawler and Hart, baby. We're news. We can be the biggest thing ever in professional wrestling. I've told you that a million times. If you just listen. If you just listen to me.
Are you that worried about J.J. Dillon? Isn't that something? Are you that worried about J.J. Dillon?
Or it looks like he may be trying to get behind your skirts in order to protect himself from J.J. Dillon or something.
Yeah, he's worried. He's rightly so. You know, a few things that he says is true. He is worried about J.J. Dillon. J.J. Dillon has plans of coming in here and taking over this area. Not only me, but Jimmy Hart. So he is running scared. The other thing he said that's true is Ken Patera and Crusher Blackwell will stop at nothing to win a match. And that's what I have to concern myself with right now. I couldn't accept Hart in my corner anyway because Austin Idol's going to be my partner, and he hates Hart just about as much as I do and as much as the rest of these people does. So, you know, I realize he's scared. He's showing his true colors right now. That yellow streak down his back is getting just a little bit wider. He's flashing all kind of money around because his future and his whole livelihood is in jeopardy right now.
The only thing I'll say about him, Jerry, he does have the wherewithal when he's around that ring to give you a little edge, and nobody knows it better than you in the fact that Hart, that son of a gun, always comes up with something.
Was he got you on his payroll, too?
I'm not selling for him. I'm just telling you.
Sounds like
that Hart, we've seen him win a lot of matches for a lot of guys.
And I've seen him lose a lot of them right on the end of this right here, brother. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the way it's going to stay.
I agree with that.
Well, let me just say this. Talking about Ken Patera and Crusher Blackwell, they will, coming up Tuesday night, have to do anything and everything if they're planning on keeping those belts. Because I've been talking with Austin Idol, and, you know, I've gone through a lot of setbacks, and I've gone through a lot of heartbreak and a lot of disappointment over the AWA World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm not going to go through all of that again. We're coming there Tuesday night for one thing, and that is to walk out of that ring with those tag team belts that Blackwell and Patera prize so dearly. So Blackwell, Patera, you better call Hart. You better get that wimp in your corner if you think he can do you any good. But even Hart or Bobby Heenan or that Sheik you got as a manager, none of them's going to do you any good, because the universal heartthrob, Austin Idol, and the King are ready, and we're going to be the champions Tuesday night.
Quite a tag team, Lawler and Idol. I'll tell you that for a living fact. And this may be the toughest defense of the title that Blackwell and Ken Patera have ever had. Not to say that the Rock and Roll Express didn't get in there and give it everything they had. They got off to a bad start, and brother, when you're going against two of the strongest guys in the country, let me tell you, that is fatal. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of that match. Tag champions, and there's a tag on Robert. Now you don't see the R&R backing up. Beautiful double drop kick. There's a cover on Patera. Snapped over the top rope and clubbed by Ken Patera. Again. And dumped back into the ring. Patera gives way to Crusher Blackwell, and Crusher, living up to his name, does just that. Crushes Robert Gibson. Patera puts his knee in, and Blackwell drops Gibson down, picks him up, drops him again. Whoa, Patera held him up there. Blackwell just barrels across the ring and puts that huge bulk right on Gibson. Then a big splash. They roll into the corner, and there's a tag on. Over the top goes Patera. Robert with a knee on Patera. The referee saying, get out. What's he telling Rick that for? Robert Gibson in the middle. Count of 1, 2, 3, and there. Strapping crew, the Rock and Roll Express. They just had a lot of bulk and a lot of strength, and as I said, they got off to a very bad start early, and that was too much. Okay, we're going to take time out. We've got more championship wrestling. Back to it in just a moment. He was going to be that Mantell Savage match. We have some highlights out of the last meeting. Let's look at it. Before we got started, Macho Man Randy Savage, the holder of the NWA Mid-America title, Dutch Mantell, referee Paul Morton can't get him back in the ring, so he just said, let's ring the bell, and Savage just crushing Mantell. I don't think I've ever seen Dutch hammered around as bad as he is being hammered by Savage. The tough Dutchman has never had a chance to breathe. Savage just pounding away, goes for the throat. He knows it's a no disqualification. So is Savage. Big clothesline, and the Dutchman is right on the brink of being out of there. certain. This time covers once, covers twice. Dutch drapes the leg, and that's going to break it. He hits Savage. Look at that. Here comes Mantell. Fighting his way back. Him down. As a cover, 1, 2, 3. Tough bout, I want to tell you that. About the upcoming match between Savage and Mantell, the Dutchman had some comments to make, and Randy Macho Man Savage also had some comments to make. Let's take a listen to both of those.
You know, what I have to say today is not going to take me all day long to say it, because I'm going to say it right up front. Now, I've been thinking about Randy Macho Man Savage day and night, because he got a real good pop on me last Monday. And Savage, I hope you're happy, and I hope you're proud. And you've been running around gloating, telling everybody you got a good piece of the Dutchman. Well, you better be glad, baby, because it might be your last time to gloat, buddy. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, Savage. I've talked to some people this week, and I've come to one conclusion. Now, baseball players go into slumps, basketball players go into slumps, and wrestlers are no different. They go into slumps, too, and I've been in a real bad slump lately. And I've asked several people how to come out of it, but I have come to the conclusion of this right here. Savage, if I can't beat you, you low-life, egg-sucking dog, if I can't beat you, I don't have any business wrestling in Memphis. And the reason is, these people have been real good to me, and they've supported me. And I feel that if I can't beat you, then I don't have any business wrestling there, because sometimes I've been thinking it might be better to go somewhere else and start fresh and start all over new to come out of this slump. And I'm backing my own self in the corner, Savage. Not you. You're not backing me anywhere. I'm backing my own self in the corner. And I'm going to come out here and tell you and tell all the people that if I don't beat you Tuesday night, you low-life, egg-sucking jerk, I'm going to say this: I will not wrestle in the Coliseum anymore. Because, Savage, you're not that good. And I can beat you. But to back up what I said, if I don't, you people won't see me wrestle in that Coliseum anymore.
Step aside. Let somebody else have a chance. Step aside.
We heard a rumor, man. We heard a rumor, didn't we? Yeah.
He's gonna leave town if he loses. Leave town. We don't care what you do with your personal life. Step aside, Dutch Mantell. Let somebody else have a chance to take this belt away from the Macho Man.
NWA, Mid-American Heavyweight Champion, yeah, looking at you through the video scope. Memphis, Tennessee is Macho Man country. Lance Russell, aren't I a great announcer? Yeah. Don't you think that I should be doing the Tonight Show, the Macho Man Randy Savage? Too bad I'm such a wonderful athlete, yeah. Dutch Mantell, tell you what, we heard a rumor that if you don't beat the Macho Man Randy Savage in Memphis, Tennessee, in Macho Man country, you're leaving town, so you might as well get your bags packed right now, start the car, and start driving back to Texas, yeah!
Dutch Mantell.
Beat me. No,
Dutch Mantell, you're real good, Dutch Mantell. But the Macho Man is better. Much better.
NWA, Mid-American Heavyweight Champion, yeah. Looking at you, Dutch Mantell. Pack your bags and leave. No, because you can't beat me. Jerry the Queen Lawler. Looking at you right now. Do you see something, Lawler, man? Memphis, Tennessee. Macho Mania, yeah. Macho Mania.
Step aside, Dutch Mantell.
Macho Mania, man.
Step aside.
Macho Mania, NWA, Mid-American Heavyweight Champion, yeah.
It's going to be a battle, I'll tell you that for a fact. We've got now an opportunity. Well, wait a minute. Let me stop here. Is Eddie? Yes, sir. Eddie?
Lance, I feel bad about what would have happened on the Fabulous One's belts.
Well, I know we all would have liked to seen about Eddie, but there's nothing you could do about it, and you had to enforce the rules.
Well, we can still see the bout. I hadn't been able to talk to them. I don't know where they're at, but we're going to change that match Tuesday night, I'll change the match when it comes up, where it'll be the Fabulous
They're
Ones.
scheduled to go against Killer Carl Krupp and Sabu, and so you were going to change that
The Fabulous Ones against the Zambui Express.
for the Southern Tag title?
right.
All right. Now, we'll get to see them at least have their day in the ring in there instead of having it legally. I know you had to do what you do, but I appreciate that, Eddie. I think that is very good. We'll give you a summary on that in just a moment. Right now, Dave's going to tell you about the out-of-town.
We have lots of action coming up around the...
Well, it didn't come out exactly the way we had figured. We were looking for 2 title matches. We did have the Southern Heavyweight title, but we apologize about the Southern Tag. I feel very badly for the Fabulous Ones. They're obviously tough transportation problems or something. They did not make it and ended up forfeiting the Southern
That's right.
belts.
They lose the belts by forfeiture since they were not able to appear. So Zambui Express, the new Southern Tag Team Champions, they now have the belts. And we also today on Championship Wrestling saw Rick Rude, a new member of Jimmy Hart's first family who came in here. He defeated Jerry Gray in his match in about 2.5 minutes. It was King Konga from the streets of New York defeating Robert Reed. Then Jerry Lawler going against Sabu, the Wild Man. And in this one, Lawler had the Southern Heavyweight title on the line. Lawler retains that belt. He won the match when Jimmy Hart tripped.
With an assist from
Sabu.
Jimmy Hart. You got to call it like it is. That's
Kind of
right.
strange, but Lawler does retain the belt. He is still the champion.